Good Saturday to all of you here in NHT Global. I'm truly excited to be hosting today's call and webinar right around the world. This webinar is being recorded, so you can be passing it down to your downlines and your future business partners. Uh, with me on the call today, my name is Joe Garcia, calling from just outside of Toronto, Canada. I've got my business partner, global ambassador, and legend in this industry, Dan Caddo. And also joining me today will be the infamous Garth Wright, pioneering many of our markets globally out of living in Czech Republic, and one of our other business partners, European leader Dalibor Strop, out of Prague, Czech Republic. It's my honor to host this call here today. We've got an incredible excitement going around NHT Global, not just because of our event, but the massive growth that we're having, not just in Asia, but all over the NHT world. So the purpose of this call is to give our distributors that weren't in Hong Kong kind of an overview of what happened in Hong Kong. Not only that, but hopefully giving you the sense of the opportunity that we have ahead of us here with NHT Global. So I'm going to turn this call over to Mr. Dan Caddo, and he's going to share with you what is going on with NHT, a little bit of our history for a lot of the new people in NHT who are looking at the business for their first time. And he'll also share with you why he believes in the next 5 to 10 years that we will be in the top 5 to 10 network marketing companies globally. So I'm going to unmute Dan here. Hey, Dan, can you hear me? Hello, Dan, can you hear me?
Yeah, Joe, I can hear you great. How am I coming through?
You're coming
Yeah,
through.
Joe, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Dan.
Okay, fantastic.
Okay, we may have just
Fantastic.
a
So,
slight delay, Dan, but due to the internet here, but just go ahead and share with the world here of NHT what's going on.
good. Joe, just to be clear, just to make sure, how is my audio? Am I coming through clear?
Like you're next door to me.
Great, fantastic. Well, with technology, I believe we're next door to the world here, and who we're reaching. I apologize if I'm a little raspy to all of you that are out there. I had a late night in speaking to a lot of people around the world, as Joe shared with you, just with the excitement of what's happening with NHT. And gang, really, what I want to share with you today, this is really not going to be a call of hype or us trying to do that. We don't need to do that. Really, the motivation that you'll get today will come from the information. There's really three parts to really want to share with you today, and all of us with our partners that we have over in Europe, Garth Wright and Dalibor Strop, that'll be on just here in a few minutes, is really for not only the new people that we've got that are listening to this call. We've got thousands of people that are on this webinar right now, virtually around the world in over a dozen time zones. It is evening, some parts of the world. It's the wee hours of the morning in some parts of the world, and the afternoon and mid-evening in other parts of the world. So again, welcome all of you to today's webinar. There's really three parts, and I'm going to be as brief as I can, but really to cutting to a snapshot of a picture of where NHT is right now, but most importantly, where we're going. And as I said, there's really kind of three parts to what's happening here. Number one, our history and where we started. I'm just going to give you a very, very brief snapshot again of what we've done here just over the last, well, certainly since we got started over the last few years, where we're positioned today. But again, as Joe had shared with you, where we're going. We've just come off an incredible event in Hong Kong. We had over 7,000 distributors and guests that were there, but mostly distributors at our event in Hong Kong. They predict that our next one that we'll have, and they feel that the numbers conservatively, 12 months from today, when we have our next big Hong Kong event, we'll have over 15,000, close to 20,000 people at that event. a lot of our growth that we have is not coming just from China. A lot of the numbers are coming in saying that so much of our growth is in China, but our growth is virtually around the world, even here domestically in North America where we started. And when I say even, because we become a global company and a global opportunity, because of our model, because of our system, because of technology and what we've done, our reach is really unparalleled in the industry in the short period of time that we've been in operation, really just over the last 15 years, that we can really virtually reach just about every single market around the world. The Asian community has been powerful, but we've had tremendous growth here just in North America in the last year. And I said just, even in the last year, in the last few years here in North America, particularly the last 12 months with our growth, this is where we started back in 2001. And, to share with all of you, when Joe and I got started, we got started with one product in Canada, in Toronto, with just a handful of distributors when the internet was really in its infancy. Certainly with our industry, we were one of the very first to introduce the kind of model that we had with the back office that we had, the system that we had, and we only had one product. We just had that one small little hokey kind of website. We didn't have marketing materials, but the vision that the company had back then and that Joe and I had back then is that we would eventually, ultimately take this opportunity, these products, eventually more than the one product, and today now over 30 products around the world, we've been able to do that. Gang, we've done over $1 billion in business over the last 15 years. Like just about every giant in our industry, as a matter of fact, every giant in our industry, they've had their challenges, they've had their issues, they've had the obstacles, they've had the hurdles that they've had to overcome. And it's defined us. It's made us a stronger company from that. And, halfway through our legacy and our journey, we did have some pretty big issues and pretty big challenges that we had to deal with internally. We're a publicly traded company. All of this is very transparent, which really helps us as a business, as an opportunity, and who we are. There's nothing to hide because we're so crystal clear in our history, where we are, and certainly where we're going. But with all of that growth that we've gone through, we haven't even scratched the surface of where we're about to go. If you take a look at Fortune magazine, just in the last 12 months, we've been ranked as the second fastest growing publicly traded company here in North America and around the world, not just in our industry, but outside of our industry. If you look at just a few years ago, we were a company, had a market cap of around $8 million. Today, well over $300 million. We were a penny stock a number of years ago. Today, our stock is trading well over $20. The value of our company, the strength of our company has never, ever been stronger. When we introduced the company, we only had one product, as I shared with you, over 30. In Hong Kong, and you're going to hear this from Dal and the same thing from Garth, the new products that we have on the horizon that were released in Asia that are going to just literally set our world on its ear. These are products that were introduced by Nobel Prize-winning research. Products, our initial product that we had, as you all know, Allura, when it came to the marketplace, it was the very first of its kind for women. It was the female version of Viagra. It was new to the marketplace. We were the first. We had no history with it. But look what we've done with that product around the world. The two other products that we've got that were introduced to the Asian market are going to set this world again on its ear. It's incredible, the products that we've been able to introduce and we continue to introduce because of the research and development mission and vision that our company has around the world. So we've introduced a couple products that were released in the Asian community. They'll be coming here to North America very shortly. We've got basically the approvals as far as Eastern and Western Europe over the next 2 to 3 months done. So things look very, very good in some of our other markets as far as those products getting into, again, those markets. When Joe and I got started, obviously no history back in 2001 in terms of the number of products that we've got today, the number of markets, and certainly the success stories. And if you want to use Global Ambassador as a measure of success, which means you become a millionaire in our business and our opportunity, we didn't have any, obviously. We had just gotten started. Well, just in the last quarter, we released in Hong Kong 9 new global ambassadors. we really believe we'll be on track to 200 global ambassadors by this time next year. It is staggering what we've done. We're humbled by what we've done, but we're most excited about what we're going to do with the future with NHT and where we're about to go. Joe, you know, we've got events that are coming up this fall in Chicago. We've got them in Atlanta. Garth Wright will be featured at those events that we've got with Andreas, who's out of Chicago, and his team that we've got with Atlanta, with Tawana. We've got a group that's starting up now in New York and New Jersey through a gentleman we call his name is Pastor Glenn. And looks like we're going to be having some events there later on this fall. So things are really being stirred up here in North America and back in on the home front here, not just around certainly over in Asia and around certainly the world, but here in our own backyard. Joe, you know, I've been saying this for some time here. You know, if you can't build and sponsor with a story that we have here with NHT, you probably need another line of work or another line of business. It certainly is an exciting time to be a part of what we're doing. And again, we're very, very humbled by what we've done, but mostly we're excited about where we're going and what we're about to do. So, Joe, you know, I know we've got Garth Wright and Dalibor Strop that were over in Hong Kong. They're on our call. I know they're still extremely excited just from the event itself, but very, very excited about where they're going with their markets in Russia, Western Europe, what's happening over in Ireland, and the events that we have that are coming up over in that part of the world. But the guys are just fresh off of the Hong Kong event, and I know they want to be talking and sharing some of what happened in that event. But, Joe, I'll wrap up with you a little bit later, but I'll turn it back to you, and I know you're going to be introducing the guys here. So, Joey, over to you.
Great. Thank you, Dan. Quick question with you. You know, you've been in the industry now, what, 26 years now?
Yeah, 1988
Yeah, so,
was the year that I got started in the industry, Joe.
so you were a young teenager then.
Yeah.
And you've traveled the world. You've been in, you know, I've been in more than 50 countries. I don't know where you're up to right now. And you've pioneered markets around the world. You've tasted incredible success. You know, what's your gut feeling in the next 5 years, 10 years with what's gone on with NHT? Particularly the last 3 years, we've had 13 consecutive quarters of double-digit growth. You know, fastest growing company, ranked second on Fortune magazine. That is huge. That's unbelievable for a network marketing company to have faster growth than companies like Facebook and Google and Apple. You know, we're in with the big boys. So, you know, opportunity happens with a lot of timing, right? We've got great leadership. Time either promotes you or exposes you, and we've done that here in NHT. But more importantly, timing is everything in business, and we should only be so lucky. Like you and I are the only ones that were still here and launched in 2001. But for those people that are getting started now, we've got a lot of distributors on that have been around for 5, 6, 7 years. We've got people in Europe, Asia. Our call is jam-packed here right around the world. What should they be doing in the next year, you know, to take advantage of this momentum that we have as a company?
Yeah. Well, Joe, you brought up some great points here, and just to hit on this quickly, first of all, what I see in the next 5 years, and then obviously what to do, but you know, for everyone, as Joe shared with you, I've been, you know, and I shared with you since 1988. I've seen an awful lot in our industry, but it doesn't matter if it's our industry or another one. It's common sense in business. If you have tremendous growth that's out in the marketplace and in the field, and you don't have the infrastructure to support it, the operational logistical infrastructure to support it, you ultimately will implode. Just about every company that I've seen, you know, is certainly in our industry. We've got the incredible success stories, but you know, you learn as much from the failures as you do the successes that are out there, and you learn from the companies too, and the operations, the opportunities outside of our industry as well. And it seems like just about all of the time, the reason why the companies do not succeed after they've gone through this vertical growth, they don't have the infrastructure, the logistical, operational infrastructure in place to support that growth. Financially, the resources aren't there. Again, the infrastructure isn't there. Whatever it is, it all ties into the fine print of that. We have never been stronger as an opportunity than we are today. If you take a look at the valuation of our company, we're publicly traded. So for people that are on our call here today, you could just say, well, I don't believe a thing that these guys have said today. You don't have to believe a thing we say. Check us out. It is fully transparent. We're publicly traded. It's all there. You'll see the liquidity of the company, the infrastructure of the company, the logistical infrastructure of the company, the cash position of our company, all of it, from our operational team that we have overseas in Asia to what we have around the world. It is all there to support the growth. And as I said, in just about every other situation that we have out there that I've seen in this industry and outside of it, again, is because that infrastructure wasn't there. We have it. We've never been stronger, Joe. And as I've always, I've just been saying over and over and over again, which ties into your second question, what should people be doing today? You know what? Just tell the truth. That's all you have to do. Share the story. Facts tell, stories sell. Share the story. Share the NHT story. Just share the story and tell the truth. And it doesn't matter if they don't believe you, because once they check us out, they'll come back, oh my God, I didn't realize it was that big. So, frankly, Joe, for everyone that's out there that's looking to build, share the story, share the truth, tell the truth over and over again. But if you want just to get a little bit of, just in the way of results, you can poke at this thing. But if you want to get massive results, you want to hit this massively, you need to be talking to a lot of people. And again, it's as simple as that, Joe. You and I have been doing this for a long, long time. And all we have to do, to increase our productivity, just increase the activity. And that activity is just share the story. It is an incredible story. It's unparalleled in our industry. It's nearly unparalleled outside of our industry. To be the second fastest growing company in our industry in the last 12 months, that's insane. I mean, you get that opportunity once in a lifetime. And for where we're positioned now, for the kind of growth that is in front of us, you just need to be sharing the story to as many people as you possibly can. That's all we're doing, Joe. I know you and I are doing the same thing over and over again. We're doing basically what we did when we got started. We're just sharing the story. I'm doing it face-to-face, belly-to-belly, through technology. And as you know, and for everyone out there, if you don't know me that well, I'm not really that tech-savvy. But I'm just getting the story out as much as I possibly can, and I'm overwhelmed right now. What is happening is that people are calling me about the story of NHT and what's happening and how can they get some products and how they can get involved. Joe, over to you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Massive action produces massive results. And when I first heard that, Dan, I'm aging myself too now. I can't believe it. In 1993, when I first got started in the industry, I took literally that to heart. That, I knew my skill sets weren't exactly where I wanted to be, but I knew I could control one thing. What I fed my mind on a daily basis, which was my personal development, so I could increase my skill sets. And number two, my activity. And I knew that if I just did the numbers, that I would attract the quality people in the business. I would grow my business because I couldn't wait for everybody else to do it. I had to do it myself. So it's that simple. Massive action produces massive results.
And leading by example.
Yeah, great job, buddy. What I'd like to do now, ladies and gentlemen, introduce you to Mr. Dalibor Strop. I joke around for many years, which was the truth. And Dan's the only one that knew me back in 1993. On a scale of 1 to 10, I was a -10. But this gentleman, when he came in, he was below the -10. I joke around with him about that a lot because very few people that I've seen in my lifetime grow as much as this gentleman has. And he reminds me a lot of myself. of his persistence and his commitment and the never say die attitude. You know, you shall persist until you succeed is great words by Ogmandino. And this guy is the epitome of this. So, Mr. Dalibor Strop, I'm going to turn your mic on here. So, Dalibor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can, Joe.
Great, great.
Hello, hello, everybody.
You're coming in loud and clear. So, Dalibor, you
Perfect.
have the opportunity to qualify to Hong Kong, all expenses paid trip. Again, your prospecting and your recruiting skills and your ability to continue to every day do something for your business is everybody should learn what you've done here so far. So, can you just share with everybody your experience? I believe this is your first time in Asia and your first time at a international event outside of Europe. Can you share with everybody what your experiences were?
Yes, it was certainly my first time in Asia and in such a big event with like 7,000 people. It was like, wow. And I had a great feedback from my team, obviously, because they saw that they are actually in the right place. They are in the right company. I shared a lot of pictures on Facebook, so I immediately saw great feedback from the team. And after I came back, I sent out a newsletter about what was going on in Hong Kong and about this second fastest growing company in the world. And I got flooded with a lot of emails, a lot of phone calls, and a lot of people actually were interested to sign up. Even after a couple of years reading my emails, communicating with me, but they didn't came to the decision. So now when everything is clear, when everything is like no questions, they just decided to join the company and to continue building the business with that stable company. So I believe that every event it really helps fire up people in a big way, because it's just this big. When you see event this big, then you just got excited. There is no any other way about it. But for me personally, it means a lot when I can hear others people's story. And there were a number of people telling the story that they got started, they didn't understand the business, they just using the products for a couple of years, and then they just understood it after, let's say, 4 years, and then they made it to the highest position, to ambassador position. And it's just so inspiring for me, for everybody who learn this story. So I believe that these events are just great. That's what I can say about it.
So, Dalibor, would you say, I know you saw our new global ambassadors,
Yes.
and you've been hearing from me for a while that, you know, what do you feel makes these people special that went to ambassador?
Well, definitely some mindset change and persistence. When you don't believe that you can make it to ambassador, you will never do it. You will never make it. So there was a huge change in the mindset, in what they expect from the business, in belief level, I would say, because one lady, for example, she was in the business, in not small business. She was like car salons and restaurants and stuff like that. But she said, well, I don't know if you understand how it is difficult these days building the traditional business. I was in the business for many years. I achieved a lot in traditional business, but when I realized what this business in network marketing can give me, I just completely changed my opinion about it, and I started work on it. And I believe she was able to reach that level in 2 years, which is amazing. So I think it's changing in the mindset and persistence.
Hmm. One last question. What was the one thing that you saw at that event that basically told yourself, yes, I'm at the right place at the right time?
Well, I wouldn't say that it's one thing. It was basically everything, because when I got there, I saw that I am in the right place at the right time. It was the new products, it was the growth, it was the credibility, what you can just simply show people, and there are no questions. I spoke to one guy, and he said, well, I don't need any other information to get started, because I always ask people what they need to get started. And he said, I don't need anything. Everything is online. I am good in numbers. I am in investments, so I understand what it means when you are second fastest growing company in the world. Period.
Yes, yes. So you've got some incredible upcoming leaders in Europe. You've got Helen Svensson. I see her online out of Sweden, Gothenburg, Sweden, and her team. You've got Sonia Reddy out of Ireland, which I believe you're moving to Ireland for a few months. So can you
Yes.
just share with everybody that's watching today and in the future, we have some events coming up in Europe, and I know some of them have already been locked down. Can you share with everybody what's going on?
Yeah, basically there will be two events so far in Ireland and Sweden in November, with a roadshow with Dr. Thompson, talking about our one of our best-selling products, Allura, and hopefully we will be able to ask him about this new product which was announced in China. Everybody got excited about this product.
You want to share with everybody? I'm going to leave it to the end.
Let's leave it to the end, so
Okay.
everybody will wait until the end.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dalibor. You're a great testament to what leadership's all about. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
So, ladies and gentlemen, I know Garth Wright had little issues getting on the webinar, but he's dialed in. Garth, can you hear me?
Dan and Joe, Dalibor, thank you so much. What a great, great group to get to work with. And I had some technical problems getting on this call, but here are things that I wanted to share. I'm originally from California by the sea. I lived in San Francisco area, in Malibu and Santa Barbara. Beautiful, beautiful places. But I came from a really, really poor family and tough upbringing. So I went to university. I got several degrees from university, and then in 1991, I discovered network marketing, and it was in that first company in the United States that I met Dan Cato, and so I've known that guy for over 20 years. And I also saw Joe Garcia up on stage, and was inspired by his example. I moved to Europe in 1996, and I took an 8-year break from network marketing. But it was in 2004 that I received an email inviting me to join NHT Global, and I flew to Dallas, which was the company headquarters at that time, and I saw that Dan and Joe were with the company, that the products were amazing, and the marketing plan would pay so, so well. So I jumped in. I went back to Europe. I was privileged to be first in Europe. And Dan and Joe supported me with many events, and they continue to do so today. My business grew really, really quickly. I just was out of my mind with excitement. And as Dan and Joe have said, massive action equals massive results. I didn't get much sleep, but boy, the business was growing tremendously. And then Tomasz Konopek came into the business, and together with Dan and Joe and the company, we launched Russia and Kazakhstan with Elena Kazurova and her fantastic team. And that business just took off. And, you know, we've done millions and millions of dollars and euros and rubles and won and other currencies all around the world. So the business has been fantastic. And with Dalibor and Andreas and Sonia and Yoon and others on my team, my business just really got going around the world. And now it spreads from Asia to Europe to North America to Latin America. And we're just, we just plan to reach the whole world. There's no limits. Speaking about Hong Kong, I would say that the highlights for me of the Hong Kong event were many. It really proved the high value of qualifying for incentive trips. Tasha and Tanya, two staff with NHT Global, were helping us during the whole incentive trip of Hong Kong because it wasn't just the event for us. We went to the market, we went to the city, we went on the ferry boat, we went to the top of the mountain above Hong Kong called Victoria Peak. We saw the spectacular views. We had great meals together. We just had so much fun. And I guess a highlight I could say of being in Hong Kong was being with the Russians who were so focused and passionate, with some Filipinos who are part of our team through Dalibor and I believe through Yuji, and then with the South Koreans, had a big group there, and Europeans on my team. It just made it so enjoyable. Really like this international, crazy international family. And I've got to say, one of my personal highlights was flying over Hong Kong in a helicopter, which was part of our incentive trip. If you can imagine the views, I never saw so many tall buildings built into the sides of mountains with waterway and islands and bridges and, it was really amazing. I wish we could have I wish everybody on this call could have been on that chopper and seen what we saw. So, another really huge highlight for me for the trip was Dalibor Strop. I mean, I never saw a guy in my organization with more focus and passion and commitment than Dalibor. This guy is just on purpose. And he was on purpose about being my friend, being by my side on the whole trip, taking photos, shooting videos, laughing like crazy, staying up and talking until late, and then getting up early to jump into the events again. And then, of course, the event. And we walked in on Friday, and sure enough, there were 7,000 people in this place. And in my previous company, in America years ago, I saw greater groups of people, but when you talk about passion and joy, this was amazing. And I knew when they announced that next year for the international event that they expect 12,000 and maybe even 15,000 to be there, and they named a couple of phenomenal international world-class cities where it could take place. I just thought, I wouldn't miss that if my life depended on it. That is going to be a really amazing experience. So we heard from all the great people. Of course, we heard from Chris, the president of the company, and Maya, my old friend who has been with the company. Now she's a senior vice president or something, and over who knows what continents. And I knew her when she was a college student before we even heard of NHT Global. And I was so proud to see her up there on the stage. And anyway, there were all these great speakers and doctors talking about new products and announcements and everything. But the thing that just shocked me, and I think it shocked everybody, happened on Friday night. Even though we had all day Saturday stuff, it was Friday night, and Dr. Thompson gets up on the stage. Now, I've done events with this guy in Almaty and in Vladivostok and other places, and I've heard him speak many times. And he's a genius, He's this incredible inventor, and he came up with Allura, but he's done so much more. I think he's got over 50 patents on inventions. He understands clinical studies and medicine and everything you'd want to know about bringing products to market that are healthy and powerful. But what he announced just really shocked everyone in the room. You see, there had been some distributors who had told the company, we don't think that Valora which is for men. You know, it's the cream for men, which helps enhance things. They said, we don't think that this gel really works. It's not really doing the job. And the company said this to Dr. Thompson. He said, well, that's no problem. I've been doing clinical studies and preparing a product which is 8 times more powerful than Volura. In our clinical studies, the average enhancement, if you know what I mean, for a man, for his size, the average enhancement is 30%. Some a little less, some a little more. And he said, it's all natural, completely safe, and it's permanent. You use this product and you will have these results for life. Let me tell you, my jaw just dropped. I stared at Dalibor, I looked at Dr. Thompson, and I thought, this is going to be earth-shattering. This is going to be like when they launched the company with Allura, except now we've got all the men in the world taking notice because, let's face it, if you have a product that can do that, are the men going to take notice? Gee, I think so. And then when he showed that they also had a product that would enhance a woman's breast size significantly, it was amazing. The next day, one of the Asians said, that product will make us rich because most women in Asia are flat-chested. So, anyway, I just want to say, you know, if anybody could be in a company and have a great future and an opportunity to recruit with incredible hot products, it's here, it's now, and it's NHT Global. So thank you guys for letting me participate in this, and I just look forward to seeing you so much. You know, on October 1st, I'm going to be on a Thursday night in Chicago with the great Andreas Papakostas, and we're going to have a fantastic event there. Listen, if you don't even live in Chicago, just fly there and take part in that, and even make it a tour, because a few days later, on Saturday, on the 3rd, I'm going to be in Atlanta with Twana, and I'm going to do the business presentation and quick start training, and in the afternoon, a training for all active golds who come. So wherever you are in the United States, wherever, Canada, anywhere, come to Atlanta, spend time. I will be happy to spend one-on-one time with you and help you in any way I can in your business. So if I'm sorry I went on so long, but I hope that communicates how excited I am and passionate I am about this business and the opportunity we have. Again, Dan and Joe and Dalibor, thank you so much. Bye-bye.
I'm going to end the call here, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm just going to introduce you and share with you what was announced in Hong Kong. One of the great aspects to NHT Global since day one is the ability to come up with great new products. You know, from day one, they recognized that our product line needed to be the best of the best, to separate themselves from everyone else in the industry. So immediately when we started, from the R&D to the packaging to the results of the product, the company positions themselves. If I can use this analogy, like the BMWs, the Lexuses, the Mercedes of the world. And so when people got our products and they looked at the package and said, wow, you know, this must be incredible products. And if you look, just in the last 6 months, the company has actually even went further on with the packaging. It looks even better than it ever has. So NHT is always in position to come up with the best of the best. So one of the products that the company announced in Hong Kong, which is now being improved in Europe and North America and across Asia and Eastern Europe, is a product developed by Dr. Thompson. He's been working on it for several years. It's a natural Viagra for men. It's going to be called Valora Lux. The clinical studies have been overwhelming. There's nothing like this in the marketplace that, number one, doesn't kill you. Number two, it works as a health product. And there's no other health product that compares to the clinical studies with this product. I'm really excited about it as a marketer. This is $1 billion product line just by itself. Just think about it. If we can have everyone that's watching today and in the future to put their business hat on and their marketing hat and think, what can I do with a product like that? There's, outside of the drugs, there's really no competition in this arena. And again, like most of all other products, this is backed up by scientific research. Not only that that this product has worked with male enhancement, if I can use a better terminology, but male enhancement. Not only has it worked for that area, but they found that they've been applying it on women's breasts, and now it's in clinical studies, and they've seen that women's breasts that they've tested on have increased in size. A cup, sometimes 2 cupful sizes, 2 cupfuls, 2 cup sizes. Again, it's in clinical studies. It's an area that the company would like to launch in the future. And just imagine if we do launch the same product for breasts, another $1 billion product line by itself. I guess the plastic surgeons out there are not going to really like us because of us taking away business with our 30-minute facelift and now this product. So there are many new products in the health arena that the company's coming out and launching. And stay tuned for that. There'll be a lot more research, a lot more information on that. So I'm gonna see if Garth was able to get on. Garth, are you there? Okay. So I'm gonna let Dan come back on here. I'm gonna open Dan's line. So Dan, Mr. Cato, any last minute words on your end?
Joe, I guess as Dal was sharing with everyone, I don't need any more information to get started. It's all here, and it is all here. You did, for everyone, share with them just some. I mean, when I heard about those 2 products, my good friend down in Mexico, Bruce Everest, just was absolutely blown away by the 2 products that he heard that we've got that have been released in Asia that are coming here. But breast augmentation, the numbers coming through just on the Valora X that we have, that it looks like that through these double-blind studies, the increase of the man's penis size is up to 30%. These are products, Joe, as you have shared, that just standalone by themselves are billion-dollar products. We hit 2 segments of the marketplace, again, falling into our lifestyle division. But again, it goes back to us being in the forefront and our vision as a company in terms of R&D and where we're going and what our marketplace and our society and our people want around the world. These are products that have got global appeal and, not just the products, but an opportunity that has global appeal. And no matter where you go in the world, no matter where you go, everyone loves our products. There may be inconsistencies, and that's a given in terms of cultures and all respect to all cultures that we have around the world, and that is our reach. It's a global reach, and we respect all cultures where things may be a little bit different in terms of their cultures, but the one constant that you have every single time is that everyone loves our products. Number 2, it doesn't matter what country, what culture, what market, wherever you go, no matter what village, town, city, country that you're in, everyone wants a better way of life. And that is our focus. These incredible products helping people with a better way of life. Just share the story, share the truth, and watch what happens. Joe, over to you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dalibor. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for jumping on here. This call and webinar has been recorded. Will be up on Steam Team here in the next 24, 48 hours. We're going into the last quarter of 2015. One of the things that I learned many years ago, and I've been teaching for years, if you want next year to be better, if you want to make more money next year, you want to go to the next rank and go up the ranks in the NHT comp plan and recognition plan, it starts now. What you do in the next 30, 60, and 90 days in terms of planting the seed will come to fruition 6 to 9 months from now. So everything that we do in a quarter, we'll see the results 6 and 9 months later. The other thing that I recommend, and this is one of the challenges that we have as a society, as people in general, is that we tend to, our moods and what we think about all day long is based on the results that we're getting right now. And, for example, we look at our sales right now, we look at our prospecting right now, and we're not doing that well, and it puts us down. And then that thought extends to another thought, extends to another thought, and then we see no results because you're constantly thinking about what is going on at the present moment. The goal, and this is what I've done every single day of my life since I got involved in network marketing, I've really worked on myself, is I'm constantly focused on where I'm going in the future, what I want. I can only control what I want starting right now. And based on that, not on my results that I'm getting right now, I'm focused on what I want. And I'm constantly training and retraining my mind to do that. So if you do those two things in the next 90 days, massive action. Massive action to you compared to us may be a little different. If you're contacting one person a week, I would up it to one person a day, or 2 people a day, or 5 people a week. Start to do more. And when you increase the activity with focus on what you want, 6 months from now, 9 months from now, you will see the results come. You will see you're making more money. You will see that you're increasing your net worth. You will see that you'll raise your conscious level, and thus you will get to the next rank in the NHT global business. So one of the things that Dan and I pride ourselves on is support. We have legendary support system. Many years ago, Dan and I could have walked away from this business and continued to earn our residual income. But we've decided to continue to fight for our legacy, which we believe will be $1 billion annual company. So we're able to pass our income down to our kids and our grandkids. And with regards to Dan, it may be to his dog and his granddogs. Anyways, a little joke there. But we are focused on making this company $1 billion annual company. I'm heading over to our ambassador retreat in Hawaii next week. I'd love to see a lot of you today that are I see online in the ambassador program here in the next year, 2 years, 3 years. And we're committed as far as you are committed. We'll work as hard as you will work. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this call resonates with you here today. Get it out and pass it and share it with everybody you know. Share it on social media, because what's going on with NHT right now is a very special time. And this company in the next 3 to 5 years, according to Chris Sharn, on the run rate that we have, this year will probably end over 300 million in sales, well over 150% growth. We continue to do that in the next 3 to 5 years, we will be $1 billion annual company. And if the company gets to $1 billion annually, they will pay out almost $500 million to its distributors. And it's up to you to decide how much piece of the pie you want. Thanks for joining us here today. God bless to all of you. Have a great Labor Day weekend here, long weekend here in North America. You've got my number. You've got Dan's number. Thank you, Dalibor, for jumping on. And for those of you who need Dalibor's help in your organization, just reach out to Dalibor. Have a great day, everyone, and enjoy your NHT Global Day, and go out and share this opportunity out with a few more people here today. Take care. Bye bye.